Coming up on Network Africa, the ruling junta in Mali appoints a new prime minister from within its military ranks. Kenya's president cancels major deals with India's Adani group during his State of the Nation address. Plus, South Africa police vows to rescue trapped miners as NGOs warn of dire conditions. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. Welcome to the program. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin in West Africa. The junta in Mali has appointed a new prime minister from within its military ranks, and it's coming a day after dismissing the civilian prime minister who had openly criticized the regime. The appointment further consolidates power in the hands of the military, which has governed Mali since seizing power in the 2020 coup, followed by a second coup in 2021. On Wednesday, civilian Prime Minister Choguel Maïga was removed from office after criticizing the junta for delaying the presidential election originally scheduled for 2024. His dismissal was announced in a presidential decree issued by General Assimi Goïta, Mali's military leader, and read on the state broadcaster ORTM. Well, on Thursday, General Abdoulaye Maïga, who is not related to the former civilian prime minister, was named as his replacement. The appointment places all three branches of Mali's transitional government firmly under military control. To East Africa now, Kenya's president has cancelled a multi-million-dollar airport expansion and energy deals with Indian tycoon Gautam Adani, and this is coming after U.S. bribery and fraud indictments against one of Asia's richest men. President William Ruto, in a State of the Nation address, said the decision was made based on new information provided by the investigative agencies and partner nations. Well, the Adani Group had been in the process of signing an agreement that will modernize Kenya's main airport in the capital, Nairobi, with an additional runway and terminal constructed in exchange for the group running the airport for 30 years.
Because of the information that has been provided to us by partner nations, I have directed agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for JKI expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as the recently concluded Ketrago transmission in public.
I'm happy that our very own president is seeing the sense in this. Any scammer, any looter, anybody who is coming in the name of a private developer, a private investor, who is out to taint the name of Kenyans in the global space, I think, Mr. President, what you've done is just correct. Cancel all of them.
We have only come here to congratulate the president for the good work of rejecting Adani, because that Adani thing was really paining us. Yeah, I'm very much happy. You can even see. By rejecting Adani, we trust in him.
Kenyan journalist Cyrus Mbati joins us now for more on this. Hello, Cyrus. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, you heard the reactions there from the lawmakers who were listening to the president and even ordinary people on the streets. We will recall that, you know, this deal had been a major concern, especially to airport workers who went on strike as at that time, you know, demanding that this deal be ended. But now the president has cancelled this. What is to become, you know, of the expansion of the airport?
Well, I believe that now we have to start it afresh again. We have to start looking for a new investor if that's the need, and get maybe a new investor. Probably, we understand there are so many people who are interested in the whole deal because it's lucrative, as you said. Americans were interested, South Korean companies were interested, German companies were interested. So we understand that this was more of a done selectively to Mr. Adani. So they have to go back to the drawing board and try to get a new investor who will help them now to get a new airport that they are planning.
Well, this announcement was made, during the State of Nation address. Now, talk to us about, other things the president spoke about in this address.
Well, actually, as you have put it very clearly, it was a State of Nation address because he was supposed to highlight what he has done and what he plans to do about the economy. He said the economy has improved. It's going to grow by 5% in the next 1 year. Then 2027 again, it's going to grow by 5.6%. Then he talked about what he has implemented since he came to power, the healthcare programs, which Adani is also in need. We talked about the education sector, what the reforms he's bringing about. So he was actually talking about what he has achieved in the past 2 years he has been in power. But then Adani deal, which was cancelled by him, became now the major topic of our discussion because it was controversial to say the least.
Indeed, that overtook other discussions. Oh, well, thank you so much, Cyrus Mbati. That'll be all for now. Kenyan journalist joining us from Nairobi. Let's move to Southern Africa now. The police in South Africa and military personnel say rescue operations for miners trapped underground are underway as concerns mount over their well-being. More than 1,000 illegal miners have already resurfaced in recent weeks as the police have cracked down, and at least one body has been brought up. Hundreds are believed to still be underground, trapped in a shaft that descends vertically for more than 2 kilometers underground. Civil society organizations representing those remaining in the Stilfontein mine say the miners are willing to come out, but police operations are prolonging their extraction, leading to what the General Secretary of the South African Federation of Trade Unions, SAFTU, describes as a slow death. But the South Africa Police Service spokesperson, Brigadier Atlenda Mathe, reaffirms their commitment to the rescue mission.
The interpretation of the court order to say no non-rescue person can go in there actually now means without the state intervention through its own rescue mission, the miners underground are now being subjected to a slow death. They don't get food anymore since Tuesday. Since Saturday after that court order. They don't get water, they don't get medicine, they are not being brought up.
We still stand firm by our strategy. We are still continuing with operations. We are still stamping the authority of the state. Our mandate is clear. It is to prevent and combat crime, and we are still of the view that what is happening down there, it's pure criminality. The rescue mission continues, and we know that this particular rescue mission, phase one of it is being conducted, where they are clearing the site and assessing the situation underground.
Will not stop. There is nothing that will stand on our way to save our brothers. The only way is just to kill us.
Well, South Africa continues to be one of the world's most unequal countries with stark income disparities and an economy that fails to be inclusive for all economic participants. The economy is highly concentrated in many sectors with significant barriers to entry for micro, small and medium enterprises. Now, could the township economy hold the key to addressing the country's high unemployment rate? Well, our South Africa correspondent, Innocent Samosa, has more in this report.
In South Africa, approximately 40% of the working age population and 60% of the country's unemployed reside in townships. The apartheid planning system resulted in townships. The Township Entrepreneur Alliance, or T, is celebrating its 6th annual Township Economy Summit. Founder of T, Bulelani Balabala, says it aims to be the driving force behind South Africa's township and rural entrepreneurial ecosystem.
I believe for a fact that if we're looking for GDP growth, part of the economy that we need to really stimulate and support is township businesses. And these micro enterprises are the backbone of the economy, and I believe that without a shadow of a doubt.
He also outlined specific barriers macro, small and medium enterprises face in South Africa.
I think one of them is the rise in crime, in the township. Because you find that depending on where you are in the country, right, you're either suffering from extortion or just petty crime. But over and above that, it's really the access to information. And I think to most people, whenever I bring this up, it sounds a little bit strange, but in reality, the information that you have when you're a privileged individual versus the information that ordinary individuals have is totally different.
But what role can local businesses in townships play in alleviating South Africa's high unemployment rate? Lizzie Mohali is with Nedbank Retail and Business Development.
Oh yes, I think conversations are very important. I mean, one of the biggest drivers of innovation is bringing different minds with different perspectives to come share ideas, to come build on each other's ideas. Earlier on, I spoke about imagination. To say, when we come here together, let's imagine what's the future of township economy that we want to see. What is the future of businesses that we want to see from our townships, right? Imagine if one day we have a township economy business that's taking over the world.
Entrepreneurs here are optimistic about the future of SMMEs in the country.
The future of the township economy is very bright, my brother. People are waking up to it, and once again, I would like to see that also as the people of the townships, of the rural areas, being at the forefront of that economy.
As South Africa looks for solutions to its high unemployment rate and economic inequality, the township economy could play a pivotal role in creating more inclusive opportunities. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Innocent Samos, Channels Television News.
The International Criminal Court is looking forward to the end of an investigative phase in Libya after calling for international support to enforce arrest warrants of 6 individuals from the Al-Qaniyat armed group. Top ICC prosecutor Karim Khan was updating the UN Security Council on the probe's progress, saying that these 6 people are responsible for many Rome Statute crimes committed in Tahuna. Mr. Khan also highlights crimes such as murder, torture, sexual violence and rape uncovered through independent investigations and cooperation with the Libyan Authority.
As detailed in the written report that we have placed before the Security Council, on the 4th of October of this year, the respected judges of Pre-Trial Chamber 1 unsealed the warrants for the arrest of 6 individuals from the Al-Qaniyat armed groups that we say are responsible for many Rome Statute crimes committed in Tahuna. And through independent investigations, through the excellent work of the team, through ever-improving cooperation with the Libyan authorities, we have uncovered and identified evidence of war crimes, including murder, outrages on personal dignity, cruel treatment, torture, sexual violence and rape that was committed, we say, by the 6 individuals in Tahuna. Through the tracking activities of my office, through the liaison with the Attorney General's office, we have identified a number of those individuals subject to the warrants of arrest. We know where they are. We know where they are. What we need, as the victims have asked for, is your assistance to ensure that the judicial orders of the International Criminal Court, the orders of the Pre-Trial Chamber, are executed.
Welcome to our Africa Tech segment. Digital innovation has emerged as a transformative force, reshaping societies and economies and even industries worldwide. Well, Africa is seen as one of the fastest growing continents in digital connectivity, with a unique opportunity to leverage digital technologies and also to accelerate economic growth, improve governance, empower youth, and address some of its long-standing challenges. Well, the African Union has the Digital Transformation Strategy for Africa, with its main objectives being to harness digital technologies and innovation to be able to transform African societies, and that every individual, business, and government in Africa will be digitally enabled by 2030. Well, let us explore now how digital innovation drives Africa's transformation and also the challenges and opportunities ahead. Joining us now is Abiola Lashaide, convener at the CIO and C-Suite Awards and founder, Ladies in Tech Network. Thank you for your time on the program.
Much for having me. Well, good afternoon, Nigeria.
Good afternoon to you as well. Let's begin with your assessment of the digital space in Africa currently.
The truth is that we have vast opportunities as an emerging continent for us to grow digitally, for us to harness everything that is working for us. We have a lot to say about things that are not working, but we are more focused as a community pushing the digital acceleration agenda forward on the things that are working, the things that we can easily see as quick wins, as a low-hanging fruit. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that right now, there are vast opportunities, there are challenges, but the opportunities, I believe, are more. So every conversation around the ecosystem should be centered on how we can scale up our digital acceleration agenda. Is at the core of what we stand for as the CIO project community. It's a huge drumbeat for us. We are very passionate about this across the continent. So there are a lot of opportunities, and these opportunities, we can, dimensionalize them. We can talk about them, but the most critical consensus that we will have is that we need to develop our infrastructures. We need to bring all the enablers to the table. We can't ever overemphasize the need to do this. For us as a private sector, as the government, as critical stakeholders, even users of technology, we have a role to play in moving this agenda forward.
Well, in scaling up, just like you've mentioned, it's also talking about bridging the digital divide, between Africa and the world, and even between men and women. What more do you think can be done in doing this?
Yeah, we do have a gap, no doubt, but the gaps can be easily filled. We have the huge gap between the rural and the urban areas. And if we look back at what even the COVID pandemic taught us, right? It was a season where everyone had to just come up to speed. I had the privilege of watching even the old generation talk about, meetings cannot be held physically, and they got on their Zoom, they got on their Google Meet. Everybody rolled into that space where we're all learning and trying to just close the gaps. I don't think the lessons from COVID should be thrown away so fast. I believe that there are opportunities for us to build our women. I believe that the vast opportunity for us to close the divide between the urban and the rural, and it's very simple. What we witnessed during COVID is that with collaborative efforts, everyone, the government, the private sector, the users themselves, the entire stakeholder spectrum, we can do this. We can make things work. Despite the disruption of that pandemic, we saw that our schools were still functioning. We're all working from home, in a remote environment, and we're disciplined. We put a lot of investment into data, connectivity, and I personally saw the emergence of innovative leaders across board. I saw that even some telecom companies started rebranding as technology companies. Banks were no longer, the usual, you have to enter a bank building. An Okada man who is not very comfortably dressed, who feels that, who feels intimidated by, a beautiful bank setting, can actually do mobile transactions from his phone. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we have the opportunities to close this divide, but we have to be intentional. We have to speak truth to power. We need to invest heavily in the infrastructure that will move us from that point A to point B. And guess what? Africa has all it takes. We have a youthful population that the world is looking for. Look at our startup community and how this is growing. It's really blowing up the continent. We have so many fintechs and so many innovative ideas that are changing the dynamics of our entire spectrum as a continent. Digital economy agenda is moving forward, but we all need to be intentional. You don't need to wear a label. You don't even need to be a leader. I'm a lawyer and I'm enjoying this ecosystem. I'm enjoying the fact that I can contribute meaningfully because I don't need all the learnings, but I can just, by understanding how to leverage simple technology tools and then scaling up, close that divide. I'm a woman. I am looking forward to doing bigger things, innovative ideas across board. So we have that potential. We just need to be intentional. We don't need to be afraid of technology. Women need to own their own space. We have a large, agenda around the Ladies in Tech Network, which I founded, and we're doing this deliberately, purposefully.
All right then, Abiola, just before I let you go, an interesting conversation and topic, but the African Union has the Digital Transformation Strategy for Africa, and it's aiming for 2030. That's about 6 years from now. Do you think we can achieve this?
We get to work from now. I mean, literally from today, we can achieve it. Why can we achieve it? Why am I this confident? Because we have all it takes. We are very rich continents. We are highly cerebral people. We are intelligent. We have all the resources at our disposal, so we can.
Right.
I think quickly jumping into that agenda, dimensionalizing it, and getting all the digital economy platforms across Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, under the African Union belt will help us move this faster. We absolutely can achieve it. And I'm maybe going to take a bet on that. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you so much. Abiola Alashainde, the founder, Ladies in Tech Network. Thank you for your time on Africa Tech.
Thank you for having me.
And finally, on the program in South Sudan, in Tambura, the youth are excited about recently acquired skills from United Nations training efforts. Participants were schooled in tailoring, cosmetology, and other beauty salon services to improve the quality of their lives. And the graduates were presented with startup kits suitable for their different specializations. 41 females and 20 males benefited from this project funded by the UN mission in South Sudan and implemented by the Star Trust organization, an entity aiming to reduce community violence by empowering the youth.
Indeed, in Tombra, we have been yearning for peace. So with this support, we believe training more youth and engaging them in economic activities will reduce the rate of crimes and killings around Tombra.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde. Have a lovely weekend.